Kia ora tātou, welcome back to the Wargaming Den. This week's game of Kings of War sees my Varangur taking on Gordon's Ogres. The mission we're going to be playing is Push, and as usual we're playing at 2,000 points. Here we have my list this week. Continuing trying to tweak things as we prepare for Oamaru Onslaught. I'm continuing with the core of the army unchanged, but a couple of units I am still playing around with. So I've still got 2 units of Night Raiders. They've got no stealthy this time though. Huskars with the Mead of Madness. 2 mounted Sons regiments, each with the guise of the Deceiver. 2 troops of Tundra Wolves. Still not sure about the troops versus the regiments there. Painted up this week a Cavern Dweller. Wanted to try him as opposed to the Giant. Haven't used the Giant well, but thought I'd give the Cavern Dweller a crack. The Magus has got Lightning Bolt and Alchemist's Curse. I've got the Lord with the Wings of Honey Maze and the Devoted Icon, and I've got 2 Thanes on Frostfangs, one of whom I've given a Trickster's Wand to try and cut down on some of the Ogre's spell casting. And here we have Gordon's list this week. Unlike his normal list, Gordon's actually been playing around with lots of different variations of the Ogre list. He's not practicing for anything in particular, just wants a few games with the various units that he's been painting up. So this unit is very different to the one I faced a couple of weeks back. He's still got the 3 regiments of warriors. I still rate those very, very highly. Great unit. But he's added to them a legion. That's right, a legion of warriors as well with a brew of strength. They clock in at a whopping 390 odd points, so they're not cheap. Easily cheffed up in the right circumstances as well. So we'll see how they go. He's got a horde of siege breakers, and to match his warrior legion, he's decided to go for a legion of warrior chariots as well, and given them the brew of haste, which I forgot about very early on. Again, not cheap, 330 points they clock in at. He's got his Crocodile Wrangler as per usual, and he's got his Lightning Bolt battery of the 3 Warlocks, each with Lightning Bolt and Drain Life. One's got the Conjurer's Staff, one's got the Boomstick, which gives him an extra 2 Lightning Bolts, and the other one has Hex, so good variety of spells and stuff there. And the other addition this week, he's finally added the infamous Nom Nom. So lots of spell casting, a few heals, lots of Drain Lives to keep those big legions going. So it'll be an interesting game. He's got a total of 11 units and 21 unit strength. Okay. I think the mission was Push. Couldn't quite remember. Anyway, there was 7 tokens. 4 were deployed in the middle. We took turns. I decided to put them in random corners just to be annoying. Didn't realise that getting them across to the other side was with 2 points versus 1 point. So I thought they might have been objective marks. Anyway, I'm not very good at some of the missions, and we don't play this one very often. But there are a total of 7 markers scattered around the table, and the objective is to get them over halfway for more points. So I've got my Night Stalkers with the Cavern Dweller protecting my flank. I want them to move up here and do a bit of pew pew if I can. Huskars to the right of them with Thane on Frostfang. He gives a nice inspiring aura. I've got the Thane here. He's got the aura, so that's going to affect the Frostfangs and the Huskars. The Sons have already got stealthy, and he's got the Thane with the Wings of Honey Maze beside him. I've got my 2 units of Sons of Gorgon with the Tundra Wolves and behind them, and my other Thane on here. So I'm really just wanting to get onto this hill here and see what happens. Hoping to use my Tundra Wolves to chap up the chariots maybe, and then see what unfolds from there. So across from me we've got the nasty Chariot Legion. We've got 2 Warlocks tucked in behind a regiment of warriors there. We've got Nom Nom tucked in here between 2 more warrior regiments with the Legion in front of them. Those warriors are no doubt going to push forward and act as chaff. And then he's got his siege breakers in the woods with another Warlock in behind. Yeah, so that is deployment. Let's move on to turn 1. Gordon went first, and sure enough, he advanced with the siege breakers. The warrior regiments advanced in front of the legion. That's going to be quite hard to deal with in time. Warlocks up on the hill here. He's got the crocodile wrangler nearby to protect them. Got the other regiment of warriors in front there, and the legion on the hill as well over here. So I think there was quite a few lightning bolts coming down this way at me, and I might have taken a few wounds, but not too many.
Okay, just halfway down turn 1. Wee bit of shooting. And they're very cool. There's a legion of chariots over there. Some warriors, some warlocks. More warriors with a legion of warriors behind. There's a new theme tonight. He's got Nom Nom lurking in there as well. Very cool army.
And my turn, I advanced Kevin Dweller and the Thane up to the wall here. Few pot shots. I think I was aiming mainly at this, well, at this warlock with pretty much everyone that could. So I think these guys, him possibly too, definitely with the lightning bolts from over here. As you can see, 3 wounds, and he wavered my Thane with the wings of honey maze. Did a wound on the Huskarls as well. I did 2 or 3 wounds maybe, but they were soon healed up. Leading with my chaff out here to protect my mounted sons. Got the Thane nearby, and my other warriors of Gorgon here. What I failed to do though was I forgot that he actually had the potion of speed or haste or whatever it is. So I had an 18-inch move, and I think I was maybe just out of range, but I hadn't measured it, or it might have been just in range. Yeah, that caught me by surprise. Memo to self: make sure you check what magic items are where, and keep track of them during the game. So yeah, anyway, not too much action on turn 1, just a bit of long range sparring.
Brutal turn 2. I lost some tundra wolves. I just went charging in, see what will happen, and I managed to waver some guys, but not enough. So it's going to be in a minute. Turn 3, there's going to be a nasty counter charge with some chariots, potentially a nasty charge with some siege breakers. Let's see how it goes.
And here we go at the end of turn 2. Now, before we begin, Gordon, I think I owe you an apology, because it appears my Thane is here, when at the end of turn 1 he was here and wavered. So I'm not sure how, he doesn't have headstrong, so I'm not sure how I managed to remove my waver token and then sneak him up here. Bit dodgy, so apologies for that. I'm really unsure what happened. What else happened in this turn? Throwing forward my Thane to act as chaff here. Sons of Gorgon charged in and only wavered the warriors here. Unfortunately, the Huskarls charged in. They got hindered. 20 attacks hitting on 4s. They didn't even waver these guys. I think I got about 8 or 9 hits, but only did 2 wounds, or maybe 3 wounds. So they pretty much fluffed it there. And this is a prime example of what I should not have done. Gordon left a little gap here, knowing that I would take the bait and charge my Thane through to try and hold up the Legion, which I thought was a fair enough tactic. But what it meant was, once again, I'm doing a bit of a scattergun approach and trying to hit too many units at once and not concentrating my forces. The Thane, if he had supported the Huskarls, they probably would have taken, between them, done enough to have taken out the regiment there. He could have also supported this regiment here, the Kevin Dweller here, potentially as well. I thought the Kevin Dweller was okay, because I thought, right, charge in here. They're not going to be, even if they're not wavered, I'll be able to hold them up. The siege breakers aren't going to be able to get through this gap here. But as we'll see in the next turn, Gordon had a cunning plan to deal with it. Even though this gap wasn't quite enough, the way the rules work now with the red book, and because I'm height 4 and he could see me, what actually happened was these guys shuffled across enough so that the siege breakers were able to charge in here, which was not going to end well for the Cavern Dweller having 36 siege breaker attacks, even though they're hindered coming in from his flank. So that caught me by surprise in the next turn. We'll probably discuss it there a bit more. Managed to waver one of the warlocks. I think I got him up to about 9 wounds with my shots from here, and also from the lightning bolt guy back here. Again, another little mistake. I keep forgetting about the world's sneakiest crocodile wrangler being able to see through the units. He should have been back here a bit more, still in lightning bolt range, but out of charge range. As it turned out, next turn Gordon made me pay for that particular mistake. But given that my Thane shouldn't have been there anyway, was probably fair enough. So I charged in, didn't take care of any of the regiments that I wanted to. So things are set up for a bit of a major counterpunch from Gordon on his turn. And just a bit of a close up there of some of the action on that turn. So yeah, getting into combat nice and early in turn 2, and Gordon's just starting his turn 3. And as you can see here, I'd done quite a few wounds. I think I got this warlock up to 9 wounds, but Gordon, being the sneak that he is, went backwards over here. Then he's got Nom Nom and other assorted guys who are able to heal that guy up. The drain lives of his warlock's really going to come back to bite me in this one in the end, I think. Okay, turn 3, and this is where the wheels start to fall off for me. Let's start over here. Some lightning bolts wavered my Tundra Wolves, so I couldn't use them as chaff over here. They were wavered. Crocodile Wrangler, that sneaky charge in from behind your units that they do so well, managed to waver my Magus over here. The dueling on the Crocodile Wrangler means he really does like to take out individuals, so that wasn't so good. But I've got my guy over here who may or may not be able to see. I'm not quite sure on that one. Over here, a few wounds on the Huskals. This is the bit that surprised me. I thought I had things well and truly sorted over here for my Cavern Dweller. I thought, yep, he's in the middle of those guys. There's no way the Siege Breakers can get into his flank because I was here and he was there. However, Cavern Dweller is height 4, which means the Siege Breakers can see him. So actually they're able to do that new realign to get into contact thing from the latest version of the rules in the red book. So actually they came charging into the flank of the Cavern Dweller. So he really didn't appreciate having 36 dice crushing 2, even with disordered or hindered, sorry, for the bag going there. Didn't inspire him at all, and he died. So no surprises here that the Thane got taken out by the Legion as well. So that was far from ideal for me. Let's see how I deal with that. Even though they've got Pathfinder, they don't have Strider, so these guys were hitting on 5s, these guys were hitting on 4s. 2 units of Night Raiders in the front of the Siege Breakers was never going to do more than a couple of wounds, but it might hold them up for a turn or 2. The Huskals managed to take out regiment in front of them. Sons of Korgan managed to take out the regiment in front of them, and I managed to put a few wounds on these guys. These warlocks with their drain life though were starting to become rather annoying. Oh yeah, over here I must have just had line of sight there, and I managed to do a couple of wounds on the Wrangler as well. So turn 3, the wheels are starting to fall off a bit, as you will see in a minute on turn 4. And here we have the situation at the end of Gordon's turn. He has smashed the Huskarls, no surprises there. He's thrown a Warlock in to act as chaff against my Sons of Gorgon here, so they really can only charge him now. That unit strength of 1 makes the Warlocks very, very handy indeed. My Wolves are wavered over here, they're not going to do much. Fane's gone. I've got the Sons on Gorgon on the hill here. The Wolves aren't going to be able to, or they might be able to back up enough. I might be able to throw them in there. But really, I've got very, very few options, and the noose is tightening. The siege breakers have taken out one of the Night Raiders over here. If I do manage to charge in somewhere, the counter attack of Legion, regiments, siege breakers is not going to be very nice on turn 5. So at this point, with the writing well and truly on the wall, we decided to gracefully concede this particular battle. So very well done, Gordon. A comprehensive victory there. And so there we have it. So bit of soul searching afterwards. Had a good chat with Gordon. I think I really lost the game here on turn 2. That impulsive charge didn't need to happen. He should have been supporting either one of these. Potentially the Cavern Dweller or the Thane should have been supporting the Huskarls. I got overconfident there. Thane didn't have to go through that gap. Should have gone here instead. The other moves I was quite happy with. He should have been back a couple of inches out of charge range of him. So again, I've got to keep an eye on that Crocodile Wrangler, but that's where the wheels started to fall off for me. As I said, had a good chat to Gordon afterwards, and I like asking him for advice and from his perceptions, because the other players' perceptions of how the game is unfolding don't always coincide with your own. One thing I have been struggling with, and it's not just this particular list, but in general, is I really do struggle with the points at 2,000 points. Being able to take 3 Warlocks, for instance, means that you're really able to dominate. It doesn't have to be 3 Warlocks, it could be 3 War Machines, etc. But it makes it really hard to counter because you've always got weaknesses in a 2,000 point list. So if someone's gone, right, I'm going to maximize in this area, and you're not prepared for it or able to cover it 2,000 points, it does make things a bit more difficult. So as I said, Gordon, I'd like to try 1995 plus 5. I think that those point limits should be 2,000, 2001 upwards should allow you to have 3. So more than happy to play 2,300 points with the normal restrictions. It just means 2,300. You've got more, sure that your opponent's got more points, but you're able to spend a bit of points on those weaknesses while trying to also build a reasonably solid force. And that's the fun part of Kings of War in many ways, is there's always an Achilles heel or a weakness to your army that you're trying to cover, and it becomes sometimes a wee bit more pronounced at 2,000 points. I'm not taking anything away from Gordon when saying that. He plays his armies very, very well. He's the best player that we've got in this part of the country by a long way. Sometimes I can push him and sneak the odd victory, but you've really got to be on form to beat him most of the time. And he makes lists that are effective. He took this one as a bit of a laugh. He wanted to see how 2 legions went, and to tell the truth, I should have chapped them up a lot better than I did. I'm not taking that away from him, and there's nothing wrong with the list. I just struggle when you've got 3 Warlocks and Nom Nom. That's a lot of lightning bolts, and then the beauty about them is they inspire. They are unit strength for scoring as well, and turn 4, 5, and 6, the drain life to keep things up and going is very, very handy on those warlocks. So not taking away from the units at all, but they definitely in a battery of 3 at 2,000 points take quite a bit of dealing with. Same with other armies, though. It could be as I said, could be mind screechers, could be warlocks or wizards, could be war machines. A limited 2 at 2,000 points or less, I think, just brings the balance in a wee bit more. And I'm not trying to say that as a gripe, just my observations over the last year or so of playing the game. But yeah, as I said, had a great chat to Gordon afterwards. He gave me some good pointers and advice as per normal. I went away and the next day I submitted my list for the Oamaru Onslaught, and there are a few changes to it. Not too many, but I did get rid of the Cavern Dweller, and I did get rid of the Frost Giant as well. And finally, one of the reasons, once I got the Chaos Warriors, or Marauders, whatever they are, I wanted cavalry to go with them, but couldn't get any in New Zealand, so I managed to track some down in the UK, and it's taken a while and cost a lot of money, but postage to New Zealand currently is completely ridiculous. But they arrived the other day, so over the last 3 evenings I have painted up 2 regiments of Marauder horsemen that are my Sons of Gorgon for the upcoming tournament. Really happy with the models and the aesthetics of them, and I think they're going to be a fantastic addition to the army. So the old ones are going to be retired for the next wee while anyway, and at the tournament itself I'll be using these figures, so look forward to a few games using them starting as of tomorrow. But anyway, that's all we have time for today. Hope you've enjoyed as usual watching me lose. It's been another learning experience for me, but again, I enjoyed the game as always do. Look forward to the next one. Have a great week. Ka kite anō. Take care.